on 5, 16, 19, 21, 33, and 10. Check results. You remember?
Oh, crazy slow day. Crazy slow day. PODAY 199 probably. Um, in other news, I said you're meant to say prior news before saying in other news. But I haven't got prior news. So in news, Elon Musk calls Zuck a cuck. I think that's the thing about Twitter. It's just so easy to put out fake tweets that are funny. But again, it just wouldn't be out of the realms of Elon Musk, because you know how Zuck, they're having this whole beef. Them fighting in the Colosseum, is that real? I know it's real. Well, I know them fighting is real. I don't know if it's in the Colosseum, but I assumed it was just like an event style thing. Them trying to follow in the footsteps of Shock. Well, firstly, the likes of KSI, Jake Paul, and Logan Paul, but more sort of originally Theo Baker, which is crazy, and Joe Weller. So who would have thunk it? Butterfly effect, huh? That Theo Baker leads to. It is actually crazy, actually, when you do deeper, like the butterfly. I know there's probably more wild examples. I mean, the actual butterfly effect is off of the notion that a butterfly could flap its wings alone, and that could lead to like a hurricane on the other side of the world, or an earthquake or some shit. I don't think an earthquake, but like something mental on the other side of the world, which obviously would be more crazy than a boxing match between two billionaires. But like, it's still kind of crazy that like Theo Baker, like boxing in like a local gym or something, has led to the two richest people on the planet fighting. Maybe even inadvertently led to like Threads being a thing. The app, not the clothes. It's weird, but I guess it's life. It's how it goes. Yeah. So I just saw a tweet. Apparently, their beef has now extended from just a boxing match to battling rival apps to, like just tweet like insults on the platform, which is just like. I wouldn't mind it if it was authentic, but Elon Musk calling Zuck a cuck is the most cringe thing in the world. It's like when you see McDonald's or KFC or like a big brand like Ryanair or someone trying to make like relevant jokes, and it's like just be a company. I don't need you know Darren, who's head of social media, keeping up to date with the latest trends, always trying to like just be McDonald's, just like is it too much to ask you to just be Rice Krispies Instagram page and that alone, Kellogg's? Like, you don't need to be this like meme account. Elon Musk being like Zuck's a cuck, like, oh, easy retweet. It's like when you say stuff like that, it's just cringe, mate. It's like you're not because there's no self awareness, there's no irony in the way he says it. It's just like your mom or dad's trying to like. He looked up what cuck meant, or he probably found out what it meant. Like, probably like literally, he didn't know what that meant over a year ago. Probably it's just like, oh mate. I just feel like social media and like memes and tweets and like the humor is such a. It's like you kind of have to grow up with it, and just always be on it, which is probably unhealthy, but just to like understand like the nuances of it, not like some complex type of humor like like fucking Rick and Morty, like, oh, you can't. What Rick and Morty is a very high level bit of intelligence to understand. Obviously, that's just like a dick. It's not a dickhead thing. It's more like a It's just not the case. It's just like it's more just like it's just like incredibly specific is more what I'm trying to say. Like trying to explain like a weird meme that makes zero sense on the face of it just doesn't make any sense at all to like your mother. It's like, or to explain this to you, you have to explain this to you. Oh, and that's funny because 10 years ago this is a thing, and okay, that's funny because it's actually not funny because people actually do it ironically, and it's just like a whole thing. And for Elon Musk, who bought this account, bought this app for way more than I thought he did as well. I thought he bought it for like 8 billion or something. Apparently it was like 40, I don't know. Thing, and now he's trying to jump on it and understand what's going on there. Like, he just doesn't, and it's just like cringe. He's just, I just don't like Elon Musk, man. It's just cringe when people love him still and stuff. He's got you, I don't know. I mean, today's a hater day. I'm in a weird mood. We're hating on Elon, which I do all the time. We're hating on Mr. Beast. Well, actually, we're not, because we spoke on Mr. Beast recently. But my thoughts still remain. And I actually listened to another podcast today talking about the Mr. Beast stuff, about him saying he can make another account and get it to 20 million subs in 6 months. By the way, not promoting it from himself as Mr. Beast, but making a new one, not showing his face, using his name, or promoting it. He said he could get it there. He didn't clarify if he would have the same budget that he has now, because that would be a little bit unfair also. But it's just insanity to me. It's insanity. Like, I saw these people discuss it and stuff, and a part of me is like, well, you can actually gain a lot of subs, especially through shorts. Shorts are great. Like, I know, like, there's so many YouTubers who, like, we're still getting decent views, but like for the last 2 years, they're like subs are like just very, it was really like dropping off. Not enough to notice it to the naked eye, but for them looking at that analytics, just constantly dropping off, like on a downwards overall line on the graph for the last 2 years. And then all they started to do was introduce shorts content into their videos, and then all of a sudden they started to finally see that spike in subs, because they could post a video that does well and it wouldn't really affect the subs for them. Even every time they'd post, subs would go down type thing. So I know I'm sure he could make shorts that'd be like, but again, if he hasn't got the same budget and stuff, because like it's one thing to say, oh, I could do it because I've got all this knowledge up here and all these tips and tricks and I just know the algorithm so well. And another thing to say, oh, I could do it because I would employ this guy, he would edit them for me. I'd employ this guy who would make the thumbnails or whatever and do that type of shit. I'd employ this guy to whatever else, because I'm sure he employs way more backroom people than you'd even think. Like, if you've got all this knowledge upstairs, you must be like employing some kind of data fucking miner type people probably, or some shit. I don't know. Like, those are the type of things I'd assume you'd have if you got these type of secrets. Because if you got these secrets can't just be how to title something and how to grade a thumbnail. Like, there must be more to it than that. If you've got, because those are stuff we already know. There must be stuff we don't know. You know what I mean? And if you're gonna say, okay, and then you're gonna make this big budget TikTok where fucking we set a house on fire. And that's the thing. Like, I saw one of these videos came out a day ago, and I clicked on it. It had 50 million views in a day, and I'm like, the title of it was, what was it, like, train versus hole or something. Train versus 50-foot hole. That was the title. The video was a classic copy and paste Mr. Beast face going, what? Pointing at like a train driving over a hole. And it was like, train v hole. And it's like, okay. And you click the video, it's classic. Jump straight into it. Hey guys, today we're gonna... And it's like, the video is already happening as he's doing the over voice or the intro type thing, just straight into it. No narrative, just kind of guys running around screaming as like they blow up a house and drive a train into a hole. It is what it says on the tin. And it's just like, I was just like, okay, wow, you're the big genius. And this is, you know, when he goes on the podcast saying, you know, I really thought that when I went on these podcasts and shared my knowledge, it would, you know, inspire people to like go out and innovate and like create amazing content as well. And it's like, you thought you're acting like you're making like the next best thing since sliced bread or whatever. You're literally just making, you're like, I don't know. As I say this as I fucking kick over something and knocks the thing. Like, this isn't exactly hyper, but I can punch up. It's fine. I'm punching way up. I can't even reach. I'm talking just as a consumer. I just find him jarring with his takes and stuff. And I was watching this video. I got about 2 minutes in, and it's like, even the content itself. It's like, this isn't anything I haven't seen on Brainiac, you know, or was it called? Was it called Brainiac? That science show where they'd like blow up caravans and shit. It's like, it's just the first thing they did is they filled a house with fireworks and they blew off the fireworks, and then the house burnt down because they had millions of fucking fireworks in there. And the next thing they did was like do tug of war between a tank and 2 buses, just like bare random big budget shit just happening in front of you within a 10-minute time frame, and then it ends. And it's just like, wow, give me those tips. Give me the tips to, you know what I mean? I know he didn't start doing that. He had to work to get the budget. But we remember how he got there, right? He watched Every Day, Bro, for 10 hours straight. He counted to 1 million or whatever. Like, it wasn't exactly, you know what I mean? But hey, I'm just sipping the haterade, man. Not even. Get your water in, guys. I've actually been on pretty good water recently. I've got a good little system going on with two 1.5 litre bottles of water. One is in the freezer while one is melting, and then therefore drank as it melts, and then just sort of reverse it like that. I think the recommended amount for a male adult, which I guess I technically am, not technically, I just am, deal with it. And that was me saying deal with it to myself. Is like 3 liters, which I don't understand how. There's this genuine. I think I've got to just do more of my life. I think it's hard to consume a lot of water when you literally live a life very similar to a corpse. Like you're not burning many more calories. Like you barely move, so it's hard for your body to want water if you're doing fuck all. But it's just hard. And I look at like a full one of these, right? And I think I got to have 2 of those within me. And I know you piss it straight out immediately or whatever, but I'm like, that's bigger than my like entire stomach lining. I feel like I'm a skinny guy. I'm like, if I drank, well, I guess it doesn't just go in your stomach. Like it gets pushed around to your whole body. I don't know the science of it, but like, I just feel like I know we're like 90 something percent water. Apparently, that sounds insane. It must be like 60% something, but I just don't know how I'd fit. That sounds funny, but I don't know how I'd fit 2 of them in me, and I'm not sticking them down there. I mean, to drink it. No, I was gonna ask a dumb question there, but fuck it, was to it. You know how like I only learned this recently through work because you just talk about people, and it's like if you like people at university or college or whatever, they would like when they stick a tube up their butt and then they pour alcohol in there, they do it because it's like it gets you drunk faster. I thought that was just like a weird thing. Like, oh, we go to private school, or oh, we go to a rugby school, or, oh, like we go to this or that. Let's have sexual intercourse with a pig. Like, I'm referencing politician people who went to Eton and stuff, right? Let's like stick tubes up our butt and pour alcohol in there. It's just like a weird thing kids do or whatever when they got too much spare time. But like apparently there is a reason. It gets you drunk quicker. It gets your bloodstream faster or your stomach quicker or something like that. So like if you just like poured 3 liters of water up your butt, would it hydrate you faster or more efficiently? I'll just drink it. You know what? I'll just drink it. It's fine. I don't need the answer to that question. Especially this is flavored. Well, it's not flavored anymore, but I do like flavored. I hope flavored is as good for you because that's the whole point of drinking water, right? It's meant to be better for you. I'm trying to clear up the poor skin and all that. So I hope it's as good because honestly, I got flavored. I got air up, but I ran out of tabs or whatever for that. So it's just good old tap. And I'm not above tap. I'm not. I'll drink tap. I mean, when I was in France, I'll be honest, I don't turn my nose at the tap. I mean, I didn't even turn my nose up there. Like, this isn't a story of me. I still drank it, but I was more hesitant. I was drinking it. Firstly, the water pressure was awful. I don't know if it was just of where I was staying, which was effectively a woman's flat. It wasn't like I was in a hotel or something. I was just in someone's yard, and I don't know if it was just the water pressure of like this, like flat building type thing, or if it was just Marseille as a whole. I didn't go around checking taps, but like low water pressure, just if it's not coming out at a certain speed, it just kind of makes me think it unnerves you a little bit because it's like I feel like I can sort of feel it, like as it just it was dribbling out of the tap. Like it took so long to fill the bottle, like type shit. And it never got cold really because you have to leave it running probably for ages for it to get cold if it's coming out that slow. So you're just kind of drinking this like lukewarm-ish water, and it's just like. But to be fair, I didn't get sick. I didn't really taste of anything. I don't know what countries are known for having bad water. I mean, England might be known for having bad water, so maybe I'm just used to it at this point, so I could drink fucking water out of, someone's fucking ass crack and I'd live. But maybe it's just got me ready. It's a weird day. Well, we literally spoke about fuck all, but somehow it's 15 minutes already. So I've scammed that. No one to talk about. And I'm in a weird mood. This happens to me a lot when I watch good content. I spoke about this before, but I was just watching a podcast and the guest was like someone who I like admire. Not like that, but like as in like look up. There was an actor. I'd never listened to this podcast before, so like I always go into it kind of hesitant, like okay, let's see what their kind of vibe is. Sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't. The last two like ones I've jumped on recently, haven't known who the podcast hosts are. Walked into it like, who are these guys? What's their vibe? And kind of came with it like, yeah, I like their style and how they put it together. And then it sounds so a lot when I watch something I take away from it, like that was actually really good, and just made me feel the type of way. It always makes me feel a weird type of way about myself, like like I kind of want to, I don't know, just I feel just sort of, it's weird. Like it's like, imagine if you wanted to be a footballer or something. I can imagine if you then went to go watch like a youth game or like even a Premier League match, and like you just saw like, okay, that's a great example. You see like a player come on. I remember this. I kind of got this feeling, but not really, because I never wanted to be a footballer. I was never even good. I was dog shit. But watching it all with people around you, like once you get older than like 17, and then all of a sudden because when you're like 17 and below, like sometimes it happens, but more or less when you're 17 and below, everyone you're watching on the pitch, even like the young players, are still older than you. So it's always still something you're looking up to. Like, so when they're going on like, oh, this kid, he's on his debut, he's doing this, he's so impressive, you're still just kind of thinking, yeah, well, they're still like older than me. But then the second you get like 18, and all of a sudden it's like, this new young kid, Bukayo Saka's coming on to make his debut, and he's like some 17-year-old, and he scores. I don't know if he did on his debut or not, but like that happens. It's all just like, whoa, wait, this guy's, and you check his, and you're like, oh my god. All of a sudden you're looking at people whose birthdays are below yours, or about like, younger than you, and you're like, oh my, wait, what? Wait, that guy's 2 years. You're like 18, 19. Like that guy's 2 years younger than me, and he's playing in the camp. Like a guy went to my school, wasn't in my year. I think it was a year below me. But I was like, when you're in school, they make you be mentors and stuff, or like that kind of bullshit. They made me do that, and I had to like take a class every morning, like what's it called, registration. So I took the registration of this class, and I didn't go as much as I should have went. Otherwise, this would be a better like link to someone who's like a baller now. So I only did it like a few times. I was meant to go like at least once a week, and I probably went like once a week for like 5 weeks. Let's be honest. And you had to like have a plan, and registration's only 15 minutes. They're not asking too much of you. It's not like an hour-long session. You have to like sort of teach something or show something up on the board. Just basically waste their time for 15 minutes until they go off to their raw lessons. And this kid was in that class at the school I went. Was in Arsenal's academy. Then he moved to play for Valencia, which I think is where he is now. I think now he's linked to the move away from Valencia to somewhere. Where was the AC Milan? I think it was. Oh, I can't remember. And he switched nationalities from English to play for the US national team. These are like clues. Like you could easily find out who this is. I could just say his name. Yunus Musa is his name. And yeah, but what made me think of that was, I remember he moved to Valencia, and then it was like he played in a 1-1 draw, I think, at the camp. Is it New Camp or Camp Nou? FIFA gets me fucked up. I can't remember which round it is now. I think it's New Camp. It's getting knocked down now. He was playing there in a 1-1 draw against Lionel Messi. Lionel, And I was just thinking, this guy's like, I think he did like a year or two ago. And I'm thinking, this guy's like 3 years younger than me, maybe. He used to go to my school. I used to like, well, he was barely over there because he was good at football. So like, people who are good at football barely in school. So he was probably only in for the sessions for like two times or something. I was just thinking, this guy like a year ago or 2 years ago was like at my school, and I was his registration's Monday mentor, kind of. No one in that class would remember me. I was an awful mentor. I never showed up, but it was weird to think like, and now he's playing at the new camp against Messi, and it's just perspective type thing. I mean, you're like, wow. And I can imagine if you wanted to be a footballer. My point is, I can imagine if you wanted to be a footballer but you never made it, you would watch stuff like that, and even if you would feel like proud of that achievement, especially if you knew them, like if that was your friend or something. But it would like hurt you on the inside, like, damn, like it would feel that way. That's just natural. That's not bad. If you didn't feel good for them and you only felt some way about yourself, that would probably be something you should assess. But I think as long as you're still naturally feeling good for people, then that's fine. But yeah, I don't really know anyone who's in my life who's like I don't know, like that guy who I just talked about. I don't know him apart from his name, and that's only because his name's on the back of his shirt. So no one I know personally. To be fair, I don't really have a long list of people I know. Maybe they have, but I don't think there's anyone I know who's like big in any sports at the moment, or like actors or musicians or stuff, or just anything like that. And again, very well could be, but just not that I think that I know of. That's why I feel like Facebook is actually like a really useful thing, not because like it's anything special in terms of other apps, but just in the fact that it happened to be the app when I was in school that most people made those accounts on, and you would have friends with from school even if you weren't their friends. It just happened to be the app of that time, so like it is a way you can kind of just be like, I wonder what they're getting up to. Not that they'd still be using it, but just if they were, or they posted something to like see, or like, you know, it's interesting. I felt like not because I'd want to hit them up and be like, whoa, you're like rich now, let me get involved, but just out of curiosity, I'm just like, oh, you're a lawyer, oh, you work at Argos, oh, you're like an astronaut. That's definitely not one, but you know, just you get bored, you know. I get bored anyway. I'm just been rambling for so fucking long. Oh my god, one of these days, sometimes there's days when there's something to talk about, but there's a lot in your mind and you could just ramble forever. Still haven't done the F1 pod yet. I know I need to get that done. Get her done. Yeah, maybe I'll do it now. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Because anyway. Stop rambling. Pod a day. 109. I think. Oh wow. Next one's 200. Let's try and make it better than this one.
Here with the kids, and they had like 3 kids, and the geezer was probably on like maximum 20 bags a year. Like the most boring bloke you'll ever meet. He was like a hero.